Hello friend, it's Boros Legend here, and today I'll teach you how to master passing in FIFA 18 with some new techniques. And passing is easier than ever in FIFA 18, but there is still a lot to learn. Before we get into specific techniques, we have to know the basics of passing in FIFA, and that is number 1, planning, and number 2, tempo. A good FIFA player will know what to do before he even receives the ball. He has a vision and he has a plan. It's important to know your next move before you even receive the ball. And having a high tempo will make it much harder for your opponent to catch up with your plan. And one of the big keys to a high tempo is the driven pass. This is a must in your passing repertoire. Driven passes are performed with R1 or RB on Xbox plus your passing button. They are great to increase the tempo and find a fast route to your midfield or attackers, and can also be used perfectly for a simple tap in front of the goal. And you don't even have to use high power to make it. 1-2 bars of power are perfectly enough. Strive to use it when the distance is greater than 15 meters, but make sure your body angle is not too crooked towards your target, or the ball might end up in the crowds. Another key to a high tempo is one-touch passing. This feature is better than ever in FIFA 18. Don't be afraid to use one-touch even on driven passes. What's important when you use one-touch, and especially from a driven pass, is that you use low power and aim the pass well. One-touch passing makes it much harder for your opponent to catch up and will open up spaces in his defense. Okay, now when we walk through some of the basics, it's time to get into the most important passing features in FIFA 18. All FIFA players are familiar with the triangle pass or Y pass on Xbox, but in FIFA 18 it's more precise and efficient than ever. You should try to use it as often as possible to find your striker or winger for a free run. Use about 1-2 bars of power and time the pass. You should start powering up when your attacking player is about 1 meter from crossing the defensive line. And this will very often lead to a free run. Another very useful through pass is their threaded, by just adding R1 or RB on Xbox. This will make your player pass the ball much more into space and add more curve. This is great to use to find a player on the wing by curving it around the defender, or to just make an insane pass into the open space. A rule of thumb with the threaded pass is to add a little bit more of power, which will also give an addition to the curve. Time for lob passes, and here I strongly recommend you to change to manual. Just with some practice you will have higher success rate than with the automatic, and especially if you have a lower / normal rated players. A good trick to learn to aim them correctly is to look down on your gamepad every time you aimed it wrong to see how you aimed your left stick. Usually people have problems with specific angles where they totally misaim their direction, but practice makes perfect, and perfect manual lob passes will give you a big advantage over people who use automatic. Time for some wonderful new features. First out we have the rapid cross pass, and this is initially a crossing feature, but it's perfect to use in your build-up play as well. You only need to hold down R1 or RB on Xbox while pressing cross. This will give you a very fast and low pass, and can be perfect to use when you want to speed up your attack or find a winger who is standing close to the defender. And now it's time for the opposite, lofted cross pass, and this is performed with L1 or LB on Xbox while pressing cross. This will give you a very high trajectory on the ball, and is perfect to use to find a target man in the middle when you are under pressure and have no passing options. Use about 1 bar of power for every 15 meters. Last out we have the flare pass. It can be used either to piss off your opponent, which I don't recommend, but mainly to find a heel pass when you are turned 180 degrees away from your passing target. And heel passes are better than ever in FIFA 18. To perform a flare pass, you hold down L2 or LT on Xbox while you press the passing button. Okay, that was maybe a lot of info, but we're gonna do a small summary here. We can see some of these tricks. We always need to know our next move, and here we can see Higuain making the run before we even receive the ball. And tempo. Driven passes are perfect to increase the tempo, and also we can use the one-touch pass here in combination with the driven pass. And here we're using the flare pass because we are 180 degrees away from our passing target, which will make us do a heel flick here, finding Benzema and scoring the goal. And you can see how we combine driven passes with the one touch and normal passes, and it's so hard for our opponent here to stop this very fast attack. And with the through pass, wait for the perfect timing when the attacker is about 1 meter away to cross the defensive line. That is when you press the triangle button. And here we have this wonderful new feature, the rapid cross pass, combined here with a wonderful curved threaded pass to pass it into the space. And last but not least, when we are out of options, when we have nothing to do, we can just use the lofted cross pass here to find a way into the middle and hopefully also score the goal. That is passing in FIFA 18, and practice makes perfect. This might be a lot of info to melt down, but remember to just practice until you can implement this naturally in your gameplay. When you think too much what to do in every situation, it will not end up well. It needs to come by a reflex programmed into your spine, and this comes from many hours of practice. So my friends, I suggest you to start right away, and if you appreciated this tutorial and found it helpful, make sure to drop a like and also subscribe for some more content if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time.